I use a lot of fragrances throughout the course of a month, but my current favorite fragrances are the ones I'm enjoying a bit more than the rest. Hi, hope you're all well, welcome. So I use a lot of fragrances throughout the course of a month, and I usually go with at least 2 fragrances a day, but sometimes more. One right after my morning shower, and after my shower, after my workout, I usually spray on my second fragrance of the day, and then depending on which fragrance and its performance and my mood and everything else, I sometimes spray on a third fragrance in the afternoon and sometimes a fourth in the evening. I sometimes, but rarely, plan what I'll be wearing, and I usually go by a combination of mood and occasion. I'm gonna share a few of the ones I've been reaching for a bit more than the rest. Before I begin, if you absolutely love smelling good and if you love fragrances, then you gotta make sure to hit that subscribe and please do drop a like on this video, thank you. Let's do this. So first up, a fragrance from the Dior Homme line, and it's a fragrance Dior really needs to bring back. I doubt anyone from Dior is watching my channel, but if you are and if you're watching this video, please bring this one back. I mean, there's the cologne, there's Dior Homme Sport and Dior Homme 2020 for more versatile versions of that Dior Homme DNA, but there's this sort of soft freshness, soft kind of unique freshness to this that I don't find in the line. I just don't understand why they discontinued this. It's a smooth, fresh and slightly sweet mix of grapefruit and bergamot mixed with iris and everything being a bit woody. This blends the elegance of Dior Homme together with a sexy, quite soft freshness, and I love it. There was quite a long period when I wanted to sort of savor this fragrance because this has been discontinued, but now I'm like, I'm just gonna enjoy it because it's so good. Let me know if you ever tried Dior Homme Eau and if you like it as much as I do. So from one powdery fresh scent to another, and this is part of Givenchy's extremely classy gentleman line. The scent profile does have some similarities to Dior Homme Eau, but this, at least to me, is more woody and spicy, and its powderiness does have a different feel to it. This is Gentleman EDT Intense, and this basically takes that Gentleman DNA in a more fresh direction, and this, at least to me, is definitely the most versatile out of them all. This is a mix of the woodiness of cedar, sexy spiciness of cardamom with iris and a hint of vanilla. I feel the whole Givenchy Gentleman line for some reason is often overlooked, and out of them all, this is probably the most overlooked one, but I feel this is a fantastic scent and a great choice if you enjoy powdery fragrances that are more on the fresh side. So I pretty much always have a YSL in my rotation. Most of them are extremely versatile, easy to wear and quite mass appealing. And ever since the release of Myself, I've pretty much been rotating between this and the ones in the YSL Y collection. This is basically a combination of freshness, soft woodiness with a floral touch, and it's extremely mass appealing. Its floral side is that of orange blossom, and I know a lot of guys do not like orange blossom in fragrances. They often feel it's too feminine, but I think orange blossom in a fragrance is a really nice thing, especially in combination with fresh notes. So like freshness with orange blossom is something I feel smells great. And I think that orange blossom often brings a bit of uniqueness to a scent. So I believe I bought this back in August of 2023, and I'm not sure you can see this. I'm about halfway through this bottle, and this is a fragrance I've been enjoying quite a bit lately. So if you're a subscriber, then you know that I prefer Acqua Di Gio Profondo and Acqua Di Gio Parfum over the EDP. I've always enjoyed the EDP though, but it's just that I reach for these two, usually reach for these two more than this. But a few weeks ago, as I was reaching for the Parfum, I decided like last second to spray on the EDP instead. And I mean, when you spray it on, you get a really nice aquatic freshness. I mean, this is Acqua Di Gio done in a modern way, and the opening smells really good, but I did not think that much more of it. But like an hour or so after I sprayed it on, I kept getting this absolutely gorgeous whiffs of something like a slightly floral kind of freshness, and absolutely loved it. So I really can't remember if I picked up on that sort of a floral freshness before or if it has sort of macerated into this, but this is really good. So for the past few weeks I've been enjoying the EDP a bit more than both Profondo and Parfum, and it's actually quite nice to give these two a bit of a break and enjoy some like a different take on that Acqua Di Gio DNA. And I'm really glad that I put this back into my rotation. I still, however, recommend both Profondo and Parfum over this. So from one aquatic fresh scent to another, and they are very, very different. And this, at least to me, is a very unique kind of fresh scent. Kenzo Marine is all about a unique kind of marine freshness, and it has a creamy tropical floral touch to it. And it's like super soft, musky with a very smooth sandalwood to it. And I know I said it before, but I have no idea what Kenzo is putting in at least the 3 Homme fragrances that I have, because this for a freshie is extremely long lasting and the projection is actually quite good. Now I don't know what they are putting into their fragrances to make them this sort of a potent, but I do think other brands should follow. I'll be reaching for this every now and then since I bought it, but definitely a bit more lately. So from one kind of tropical freshness to another, and this is a fragrance I talked about in my summer fragrances video. I'm gonna link to that video above, so please do check it out. This to me is all about a very smooth kind of lemony freshness together with a bit of coconut, a bit of sweetness and a bit of woodiness. There's this sort of a salty touch to it that in a way balances up its sweetness. So I don't think this ever goes into something that is overly sweet. This is Hugo Boss Bottle Pacific, and it's basically freshness, coconut and soft woodiness in a very smooth blend that's a bit salty. I absolutely love using this on its own, but I've been experimenting quite a bit with layering, and this smells really good if you find the right other sort of a fresh, fruity or sweet or sort of a tropical scent to mix it with. So in other words, I highly recommend using this for layering as well. So next up, a fragrance I quite recently bought and I really like it, and it's part of the Invictus line of men's fragrances from Paco Rabanne, and it's almost like they took bits and pieces from different fragrances in that line, gave it a bit of a twist, and this is it. And it's almost, but not quite, but almost like they took a bit of Legend, mixed it with a bit of Invictus Victory Elixir, added a bit of musk and soap to make it even fresher and lighter. This is Paco Rabanne Invictus Parfum, and it's basically an aromatic and aquatic fresh scent with a musky side, a bit of soapiness and woodiness. Gorgeous dose of lavender. It also has quite a sexy, fresh sort of a sweetness and a slight hint of something sort of a unique, thanks to that sort of a musky soapy mix. So next up, an extremely underrated fragrance. I'm on my second bottle of it. It is together with Le Beau and Le Beau Paradise Garden, 3 of my sort of a summer go-tos. It's all about a smooth, citrusy and slightly sweet opening with a focus on blood orange and grapefruit. And it dries down to a fresh kind of floral with citrus on top and a musky base. So fresh, floral and musky with a bit of sweetness. The scent profile does have at least a little bit of similarities to YSL Mysf, but the muskiness of this definitely pulls it in a different direction. If you absolutely love fresh scents with orange blossom in it, then this is pretty much a must to try out. So next up we have a fragrance that to me is fresh done right. And I absolutely love this fragrance, but every time, pretty much every single time I mention it, I get at least one comment saying that this is exactly the same as Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. And I usually get at least one comment saying it's absolutely super boring and also extremely generic. I respect that opinion. However, I absolutely do not agree. Now, it does have fierce vibes to it, but I do not feel this is a dupe of Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. And I also feel this is a lot more well made. Parfums de Marly Percival is a fresh compliment getter that smells really good, and I've been reaching for it quite a bit lately. Next up, this thing right here. And this thing right here is basically classy, Italian freshness. Citrusy and aromatic freshness with quite a prominent but sort of a modern dose of that classic sort of Acqua di Parma soapiness to it. So this is like a mix of freshness, citrusy freshness, aromatic freshness with a bit of soapiness. Sort of a barber shop feel. Done with a mix of sort of a class and elegance and something more modern and a bit sexy. This is Colonia Essenza. Now, I absolutely love using Colonia Essenza on its own, but if you are a subscriber, which you are, come on, hit that subscribe right now, then you know that I do love layering Colonia Essenza with Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver right here and Light Blue Intense from Dolce & Gabbana. So next up, a scent that some feel is like a dupe or super similar to Louis Vuitton Imagination, and I get some similarities, but I do not feel this is a 100% perfect dupe of it. With that said, this smells absolutely gorgeous, and this has grown on me even more since I bought it. So once again, we have Orange Blossom like in YSL Mysf and Le Mal Pride Edition, but this definitely, I mean, there are some similarities thanks to its citrusy freshness and thanks to that orange blossom, but I do not feel this is the same as these. It's all about an intense but smooth citrusy fresh opening with a bit of sweetness and a fresh and floral dry down that's ambery and a bit musky. This is so good, and I would most likely buy a backup bottle of it because I have no idea what Zara is doing when it comes to fragrances. They discontinue some of their best, they keep some that I don't feel is good at all, but Sunrise on the Red Sand Dunes is definitely a freshie that I'm currently enjoying a lot. So there you go, these are some of the fragrances I've been enjoying a bit more than the rest lately. Now, I would absolutely love to know which fragrances in your collection you've been reaching for a bit more than the rest lately. I would highly appreciate a like on this video. Thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe, make sure you check out the videos over there, and I'll see you in the next one.